Hello, my lovely Rose Garden, and welcome back to Chapter 3 of Throne of Glass. I'm Avalon.
And I'm Ray.
And we just had McDonald's because garbage in, garbage out. Garbage for your body, garbage for your mind.
I feel sick.
Let's do it. When we last left off, Selena was still talking a bunch of shit about a bunch of shit she apparently did that we will never get to see. And the prince said that he had a proposition for her to which she will listen. We pick up immediately because I can only assume that this story first ran on Fiction Press and was probably posted in weekly chapters.
Yep.
Which is nothing against fan fiction authors or any other fiction serializations out there, just that there is kind of a style you can kind of tell. The prince's eyes shone with amusement at her brashness, but lingered a bit too long on her body. Okay. And we're already here. Selena could have raked her nails down his face for staring at her like that, yet the fact that he'd even bothered to look when she was in such a filthy state, a slow smile spread across her face.
Girl, stop going on about how filthy you are. We get it. And also, you can't fool us. You're self-conscious.
We know you're self-conscious about the dirt. We know that you want him to find you attractive. We know that you think you're hot. Stop trying to play like you don't. The prince crossed his long legs. Leave us, he ordered the guards. Kaol, stay where you are. Selena stepped closer as the guards shuffled out, shutting the door. Foolish, foolish move. But Kaol's face remained unreadable. He couldn't honestly believe he'd contain her if she tried to escape. She straightened her spine. What were they planning that would make them so irresponsible? Maybe the murder of the fucking king. Yeah. The thing you would hire an assassin to do. Dumb bitch. The prince chuckled. Don't you think it's risky to be so bold with me when your freedom is on the line?
Yes.
Of all the things he could have said, that was what she had least expected. My freedom?
Girl.
What else could they possibly bargain with? What else? Do you want money while you're slaving away in the mines? What do you want?
You want this dollar? What will you spend it on? Salt?
What would possibly be of worth to you that they could use to persuade you to do anything except for your freedom? She's not an idiot, though.
She's not an idiot.
At the sound of the word, she saw a land of pine and snow, of sun-bleached cliffs and white-capped seas, a land where light was swallowed in the velvety green of bumps and hollows, a land that she had forgotten.
Clearly you haven't forgotten it, because you described it. Anyway.
I really wish that you could see our expressions, but I am deathly allergic to putting my face on camera, so you'll just have to imagine the dumbfounded looks that we just gave the screen. Ah, yes. The beautiful hills, the windswept moors, the snow-capped mountains under a clear blue sky.
I don't remember shit about that.
If only I could remember what any of that was. Yes, your freedom. So I highly suggest, Miss Sardothian, pet peeve, that you get your arrogance in check before you end up back in the mines. The prince uncrossed his legs. Though perhaps your attitude will be useful, I'm not going to pretend that my father's empire was built on trust and understanding, but you already know that. Her fingers curled as she waited for him to continue. His eyes met hers, probing, intent. My father has gotten it into his head that he needs a champion. It took a delicious moment for her to understand. Selena tipped back her head and laughed. Your father wants me to be his champion? What? Don't tell me that he's managed to eliminate every noble soul out there. Surely there's one chivalrous knight, one lord of steadfast heart and courage. Mind your mouth, Kaol warned from beside her. What about you, she said, raising her brows at the captain. Oh, it was too funny. Her, the king's champion. Our beloved king finds you lacking? The captain put a hand on his sword. If you'd be quiet, you'd hear the rest of what His Highness has to tell you.
Literally, this girl cannot shut up. She's too afflicted with main character snark syndrome to let the plot move forward.
For fucking real, like,
Not
God.
even Percy Jackson has it this bad. And we're literally inside his mind at all times.
Like, we're only 15 pages in, so I won't say that it's like, oh, we're chapter 3 and we haven't even gotten to it, because quite honestly, this all feels like it could have been one chapter. But just let us get to the point, for fuck's sake. She faced the prince. Well, Dorian leaned back in his throne. My father needs someone to aid the Empire, someone to help him maneuver around difficult people. You mean he needs a lackey for his dirty work? If you want to put it that bluntly, then yes, the prince said. His champion would keep his opponents quiet. As quiet as the grave, she said sweetly. A smile tugged on Dorian's lips, but he kept his face straight. Yes. To work for the king of Aderlin as his loyal servant...
How did a smile tug on his lips, but he still managed to keep his face straight?
Who the fuck knows? Just listen. The gaslight is normal, okay? You have not seen the light flickering at all. Just accept it, and let's move on. She raised her chin. To kill for him, to be a fang in the mouth of the beast that had already consumed half of Aeriel. And if I accept, then after 6 years he'll grant you your freedom. 6 years? But the word freedom echoed through her once more. If you decline, Dorian said, anticipating her next question, you'll remain an Endivere. His sapphire eyes became hard. You can get that checked out. And she swallowed. And
his
die
eyeballs
here.
Hardened.
His eyebrows widened.
Some Kirishima shit. Rock hard eyes.
And die here was what he didn't need to add. 6 years as the king's crooked dagger, or a lifetime in Endivere. You're an assassin. The fuck do you care? You're telling me that you only ever killed people who deserved it? And that you never had a client who was a little bit, off the moral trail?
Yeah, you never had any moral objections to your clients, but had to do it anyway because that's just how you make money. Damn, I wish I lived in your world, girly.
I wish
that's
I could.
Capitalism 101.
Yeah, I wish I could moralize this much about who I work for when I am a literal fucking assassin.
Yeah.
However,
I don't know, personally, morally, I think that murder is wrong.
Oh, wow. You're so brave and revolutionary for that. How could you say something so brave and so true? However, the prince said, there's a catch. She kept her face neutral as he toyed with the ring on his finger. The position isn't being offered to you, yet. My father thought to have a bit of fun. He's hosting a competition. He invited 23 members of his council to each sponsor a would-be champion to train in the glass castle. Oh, there's where our throne of glass is going to be. And ultimately compete in a duel. Were you to win, he said with a half smile. But did he keep his face straight? You'd officially be Ardalin's assassin. She didn't return his smile. Who exactly are my competitors? Seeing her expression, the prince's grin faded. Thieves and assassins and warriors from across Aeriel. She opened her mouth, but he cut her off. If you win, and prove yourself both skilled and trustworthy, my father has sworn to grant you your freedom, and while you're his champion, you'll receive a considerable salary. She barely heard his last few words. A competition against some nobody men from the gods knew where, and assassins. What other assassins? She demanded. None that I've heard of. None as famous as you. Oh, so they're better than you.
Yeah, they're better than her because he doesn't know who they are.
And that reminds me, you won't be competing as Selena Sardothian. What? You'll compete under an alias. I don't suppose you heard about what happened after your trial. Why don't you have like 1 million aliases? Yeah. We should be assuming that Selena Sardothian is not your real name.
No one should know your name. You're an assassin.
News is rather hard to come by when you're slaving in a mine. Dorian chuckled, shaking his head. No one knows that Selena Sardothian is just a young woman. They all thought you were far older. What? She asked again, her face flushing. How is that possible? She should be proud that she'd kept it hidden from most of the world, but... So she's the most famous assassin, but no one knows that she's a young girl? The fuck? How does this add up?
She's the most famous assassin, but people know her name, but not her face.
Her real name, supposedly.
Her real name, supposedly.
What the fuck is this? You kept your identity a secret all the years you were running around killing everyone. How? When? Why? They know her name.
Yeah, they know her name.
After your trial, my father thought it would be wise not to inform Aeriel who you are. He wants to keep it that way. What would our enemies say if they knew we'd all been petrified of a girl? Oh, hang on. We gotta squeeze some misogyny in here. We just gotta stuff it. Just gotta cram it elbow deep into the asshole of this fantasy world. Misogyny.
Misogyny.
So I'm slaving in this miserable place for a name and title that doesn't even belong to me? Who does everyone think Adderlin's assassin really is? I don't know, nor do I entirely care, but I do know that you were the best and that people still whisper when they mention your name. He fixed her with a stare.
For some reason.
Yeah, for some fucking reason. If you're willing to fight for me, to be my champion during the months the competition will go on, I'll see to it that my father frees you after 5 years. And then what? Have this whole contest again? It made more sense if they were just going to kill the fucking king.
Yeah.
Like, I would, again, just me being the dum-dum that I am, but if my father, a king, who I am directly in line behind to be ruler of this whole empire, if he was having some dumbass fucking competition where the whole castle's going to be filled with dangerous people who could kill you at the drop of a hat, I would think about maybe sneaking an actual assassin to target him in there.
Yeah.
Because there's so many potential culprits. And who's going to fucking accuse me? I could easily set it up to make it look like one of the other assassins did it.
This is just really dumb.
Yeah.
It's just really dumb.
This is just a stupid setup for a tournament arc. Why isn't the mine hosting? Why isn't the... Okay, see, my understanding was that they were having this contest amongst the enslaved population here to win their freedom as champion, and then
like
she
the
was
Hunger
like,
Games
I'm gonna, yeah, and I'm gonna win, I'm gonna be champion, and then I will be right there and I could kill the king. Because I'll be right next, like...
Yeah.
Fucking, this is dumb as shit. Alright, whatever.
Whatever.
Though he tried to conceal it, she could see the tension in his body. He wanted her to say yes, needed her to say yes so badly he was willing to bargain with her. Her eyes began glittering. What do you mean, we're the best? You've been in Enderveer for a year. Who knows what you're still capable of? I'm capable of quite a lot, thank you, she said, picking at her jagged nails. She tried not to cringe at all the dirt beneath them. Ew, dirt.
Oh no, dirt. I haven't gotten used to that over the course of a year.
When was the last time her hands had been clean? That remains to be seen, Dorian said. You'll be told the details of the competition when we arrive in Rifthold. Despite the amount of fun you nobles will have betting on us, this competition seems unnecessary. Why not just hire me already? As I just said, you must prove yourself worthy. She put a hand on her hip, and her chains rattled loudly through the room. Well, I think being Adderlin's assassin exceeds any sort of proof you might need. Yes, Kael said, his bronze eyes flashing. It proves that you're a criminal, and that we shouldn't immediately trust you with the king's private business. Kael is the only person here making fucking sense. He is the Seteth in this room right now.
He's just like, hey, why are we doing this again?
He's like, this seems really fucking stupid and dumb. Why are we here? Why are we doing this? Why would you do this? Why would you not just pick me?
Yeah.
The fuck. The fuck is... The fuck. The fuck. The fuck is in your head. The fuck. Like... 100% standing Kale at this moment. He is the only person who has a brain cell right now.
Mm-hmm.
I give my solemn oath. I doubt the king would take the word of Aderlin's assassin as bond. Also, yeah, just in this chapter, we have begun referring to her as Aderlin's assassin. This was not a thing before.
Yeah.
Dorian was like, oh, if you win, you'll officially have the title of Aderlin's assassin. And then they just started using that as if that is something that she has been going by already. She has not. As far as we've seen. Just sloppy. It's sloppy.
I'm tired.
Yes, but I don't see why I have to go through the training and the competition. I mean, I'm bound to be a bit out of shape, but what else do you expect when I have to make do with rocks and pickaxes in this place? She gave Kale a spiteful glance. Dorian frowned. So you won't take the offer? Of course I'm going to take the offer, she snapped. Her wrists chafed against her shackles badly enough that her eyes watered.
She's calling the ones on her wrists shackles now.
Fuck it. Maybe she just didn't want to use the same word twice in a sentence. Wouldn't be the worst sin. I'll be your absurd champion if you agree to free me in 3 years, not 5. 4. Fine, she said. It's a bargain. I might be trading one form of slavery for another, but I'm not a fool. She's not a fool. Remember that.
She's not a fool. She's not an idiot, guys.
The fuck could they possibly want with her, an infamous assassin who has been slaving away in a mine for a year? She's not an idiot.
It's fine, guys. She's not dumb. We swear.
She could win back her freedom. Freedom. She felt the cold air of the wide-open world, the breeze that swept from the mountains and carried her away. She had forgotten. What's a mountain?
This is once again, this has happened 3 times, where she's just thought briefly of freedom and immediately, mentally disassociated off into the mountains somewhere. In the last 2 chapters, this has happened 3 times.
Yeah.
And each time it reads exactly the same.
If slightly worse. If slightly less descriptive.
Padding. This is how we get to 500 pages.
And speaking of padding, did you know that you can access these videos early by becoming a member of our Patreon?
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Tell me more.
When you join the Sorry, now I'm fucking up my words.
It's fine.
Because I'm thinking of the Discord server. When you join the Roselin Books Patreon, you get access to our Rose Garden Discord server. And not only that, but you will have exclusive access to patron-only channels where you can suggest videos and books that you would like us to look into. So if you want to, let's say, suggest a genre for my creative writing series, you could do that. If you have a book that you want me to read and review, you could do that. If you have any kind of suggestions for books that you want us to read like this together, you could do that.
If you want to
the while talking with us about our inane thoughts.
If you want to sit in chat and be all like, ha, listen to these losers reading this book, suffering, crying, dying, and we'll just be like, ha, yeah, we really don't want to do this. We don't want to be here right now, but we're doing it.
You also get pictures of Winnie.
Yeah,
so
you also get pictures of the cat.
You get pictures of our cat. That's the big draw for the Discord server. And that's at the lowest patronage, is the Discord server, early access to videos, and the ability to request videos from us. As you go up in the tiers, you also get access to all of the ebooks that I have published. So if you want some writing that is going to make you cry in the good way, you have that. You can also get your name in the videos at the end of the credits, and you can also get your name in my books, which is a fun little thing to be able to point to a book and say your name is inside it in the special thanks. So yeah, sign up for our Patreon. The link is in the description, and tiers start at $2. And hey, you can follow for free and still get access to the Discord server minus those patron exclusive channels. So yeah, hop on that. And we're going to hop back onto this. There, did we pad that enough?
Yeah, sure. That'll work.
She could live far from Rifthold, the capital that had once been her realm. So again, who were your clients? If you were working in the capital, you're telling me you did not work for the nobility who you look down upon? I don't know. Sounds fake. Anyway. And what if I lose? The gleam vanished. Oh, sorry. I skipped a line.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you're right, Dorian replied, and hopefully you'll live up to your reputation. I anticipate winning, and I won't be pleased if you make me look foolish. And what if I lose? The gleam vanished from his eyes as he said, You'll be sent back here to serve out the remainder of your sentence.
And how long is that?
I'm pretty sure it's a life sentence, yeah.
Life sentence?
Selena's lovely visions exploded like dust from a slammed book. The fuck books you been reading?
Very dusty books.
Then I might as well leap from the window. A year in this place has worn me through. Imagine what will happen if I return. I'd be dead by my second year. She tossed her head. Your offer seems fair enough.
But wait, okay, so...
She already said she'd take it.
Yeah, and also didn't she say before that she's all like, oh, I'm not gonna be worn down by this place, da 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 da, like all those other faceless NPCs. and then immediately it's like, more than this? Oh, God forbid.
Haha, I tried to escape. It was a suicide attempt. Like, what is the vibe?
What is
the vibe?
What is it? What's the vibe?
Aside from, rancid. Fair enough indeed, Dorian said, and waved a hand at Kale. Take her to her rooms and clean her up. He fixed her with a stare. We depart for Rifthold in the morning. Don't disappoint me, Sardothian. It was nonsense, of course. How difficult could it be to outshine, outsmart, and then obliterate her competitors? She didn't smile, for she knew that if she did, it would open her to a realm of hope that had long been closed. Like, imagining your fucking Maria in Sound of Music hasn't been doing that.
Yeah.
Every time she has one of these little mental reveries to the mountains, I just hear, the hills are alive. I can't be Julie Andrews, I'm sorry.
But at the same time, it's all like, so, okay, let me see this. So... She's all like, it was nonsense, of course. How difficult could it be to outshine, outsmart, and then obliterate her opponents? And then she's all like, oh, but I can't hope. And I'm all like, so are you confident or not?
What are the fucking vibes?
What are your vibes?
But still, she felt like seizing the prince and dancing. She tried to think of music. I did not see that line before I made that.
The hills are alive with the sound of music.
Tried to think of a celebratory tune. But could only recall a solitary line from the mournful bellowing of the Elwee work songs, deep and slow like honey poured from a jar. And go home at last. I'm not doing a work song. I'm not disrespecting the good name of work songs that way.
Yeah.
She didn't notice when Captain Westfall led her away, nor did she notice when they walked down hall after hall. Yes, she would go, to Rifthold, to anywhere, even through the gates of the weird and into hell itself if it meant freedom. After all, you aren't Adderlin's assassin for nothing.
You aren't yet, though. Isn't that like the thing that you're
competing to
be?
And also, why are they like, oh, you'll officially be Artelin's assassin? Like, A, that is not a moniker that we have heard her use before, and B, she's competing to be the champion.
Yeah. Whatever.
Dumb shit. Okay, whatever. And that's it. Chapter 3 has been the shortest so far, and just the whiplash, dude. The fucking tone is so inconsistent. And the character is so inconsistent. Like, I don't know if I could definitively pin down a trait that Selena has throughout these couple of chapters, except for thinks a lot of herself and stupid.
Yeah.
And again, they're going to talk a big game about how great at fighting she is, which typically an assassin is not your drawn out fight kind of person.
It's just kind of get in, stab, go.
Yeah, it's ideally you do it without being seen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're just kind of supposed to slip up from the shadows, slip their neck, and go. Even that would leave too much evidence behind. Typically, it's more like poison or, you know, a little
like speaking
dart
of
in the spine or something.
Them having a tournament arc for assassins makes no sense.
Yeah, the assassins would get fucking obliterated.
Aren't these all supposed to be assassins?
No, they're not. And that's what makes it even worse. Because she goes, who are my competitors? Thieves and assassins and warriors.
Okay, so the warriors would win.
It feels like the little Fire Emblem triangle. Warrior beats assassin, assassin beats thief, thief beats warrior.
But does a thief beat a warrior? Because thieves also rely on the element of surprise, and they all know why they're there. And they're all going to be fighting supposedly in the open. So, no, the warrior would just win.
Yeah, this is dumb.
Because they're trained for, sustained and brutal and upfront combat.
This is very stupid.
Mm-hmm.
This is very apples to oranges. You could tell that Sarah J. Maas never once played a campaign of D&D in her fucking life. The party is not balanced at all.
No.
Terrible. Absolute shit. But anyway, tell us in the comments. What would your ideal little triangle matchup be of fantasy archetypes? You know, warrior versus wizard versus whatever that little grass type beats water, beats fire, beats grass.
I think that...
Make your triangle in the comments.
I think that definitely it would be like wizard beats warrior, who beats assassin, who beats wizard.
Which is, I think, technically how it is in Fire Emblem Engage.
Yeah.
Broadly speaking. Anywho, that's it for this one. I hope you'll tune in for Chapter 4, and hey, maybe you'll see it early over on Patreon. I got one last little promotion in there. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching, and a special thank you to my patrons. If you'd like to see your name here or in the description below, please consider joining my Patreon. Your support means so much to me and allows me to continue making content. If you want to support my content in different ways, consider buying my books, donating on Ko-fi, subscribing to the channel, or even just giving this video a like and comment. Any and everything is appreciated so much. Keep growing till next time, Rose Garden!